let's talk about what you're most passionate about, and that's photography.
Yeah.
How did you get started in this craft?
Dude, it's funny because the thing that really got me, I mean, it's just like I think a lot of people's passions, it's like the culmination of a lot of these small little events that add up eventually. Um, so like my brother used to be into photography in high school, yeah, my older brother. And we went on this trip after I graduated from high school where we went to Glacier, Yellowstone, Grand Teton, backpacked in the Uintas at the end of it in like a week and a half. It was amazing. But on that trip, he showed me a little bit about like editing photos on your phone, which I thought was so cool. But looking back, like my edits are not good. I did not like them.
Max clarity.
Yeah,
Max
exactly.
dehaze.
Max clarity, max saturation, all of it. But yeah, that really kind of got me thinking about it. And then when I got home from that trip, I went on a camping trip a few weeks later with my buddy who'd always been into like making GoPro videos, like growing up, because he's like a huge mountain biker and does all kinds of activities like that. And he took a picture of the stars with his GoPro on this trip, and I was like, I did not know you could do that. That's amazing. And I've always been a huge fan of like the stars and stargazing. Like growing up camping has just always been something special to me. And I was like, man, I need a picture of the stars. I want to do that so bad because that's so cool. So that following Black Friday, I went and bought a camera, and that was all I wanted it for, really. I just wanted to take one star picture and be like, that's cool, and then be done. So I'm a very like independent learner. I've learned from mistakes since then, but at the beginning especially, I didn't want to like ask people for advice or anything, and I knew people that had like known a little bit, like including my brother, but I just took like a month for me to figure out how to get a picture of the stars. I finally got one on New Year's Eve in Driggs, Idaho. It was -7 degrees. And I got this picture of the stars, and it had a shooting star in it, which was pretty cool, pretty lucky. But yeah, I took that photo, I posted it on Facebook, and all my mom's friends on Facebook were like, this is so cool. And then I put my camera away for like 5 or 6 months in my closet. I didn't use it until a buddy of mine asked for like some headshots for a drama class. And I was like, I don't know how to take pictures of people. Like, I have no idea how to do that. But I was like, I'll give it a shot. And we tried it. And then I was like, you know what? I should. And by the way, they were terrible. They were awful photos. But like a lesson, I guess. And then I was like, you know what? I should start taking this camera with me on hikes. Like, I go hiking all the time to all these pretty places. Like, why not just take it with me? And then it really just domino affected from there, where I learned like little things along the way, and I'd hear something on a YouTube video from like Peter McKinnon or some other people that I used to watch starting out, and then it just slowly kind of built into what I am today, where it's like it's my thing, it's who I am.
Yeah,
so.
I think it's interesting because it feels like a very common thread among a lot of people that they just kind of taught themselves.
Oh yeah.
Like, not too many people in our circles, learned in a very structured way through classes or anything like that. They just like, I want to take photos, and they go to YouTube. Yeah,
I think photography just attracts that kind of brain mentality, that it's just, you're such a self-learner, I think.
Yeah. And it's a really good thing too. I think it's a good way to teach yourself how to do something new. Mm-hmm. and keep pushing yourself to grow.
Yeah.
But I also like how you mentioned, we're going on hikes and stuff. And like, well, I may as well just bring my camera. That speaks to what you're talking about before. It's like, well, it's a natural outlet to do and be involved with other things as well, because you're capturing moments of time. Yeah. How soon would you say, or how quickly would you say that you really picked up the art of photography to do it well?
Oof. I would say it took me like 2 years before I was to a place where I was like, yeah, my work is good, and to like a mentality where I stopped like comparing myself, really. I mean, I think I still do that in some regard, but not in a negative connotation.
Right, not in a healthy way.
Now it's more in a positive way, where I'm like, it's not quite as good as like this person yet or this photo, but this is what I can do to make that happen. Whereas I used to be like, dang, I'm never going to be able to take a photo like that. Like, I'll never grow on social media, or I'll never, just be able to accomplish those things, which is different now. So
Yeah. Does your brother still shoot too?
Not really, but if he picked up a camera, he'd probably be better than me.
Really?
Because he's just that kind of person that's good at everything he does.
Yeah. Would you say, the influence that your brother had on you growing up still like runs through you today and how you shoot?
Yeah, he's like the brother closest to me in age. I'm the youngest in my family. He's just older than me. And so I've always looked up to him in a lot of things that he's done, and just like the way he approaches things. And so that definitely has an influence in how I shoot now, because and he's still, he's doing a very different thing in his life than I'm doing, but the way he approaches his passions, I think, definitely inspires me to work on mine.
Yeah. Is there anyone else in the family that shoots or no?
My sister-in-law, both of my sister-in-laws, actually.
Yeah.
They both
What
do a
is
lot of
it-
family stuff.
What is it like to get to share not only the passion for photography, but just the outdoors with your entire family?
Yeah, I think that's a thing that brings us close together. Like anytime we're meeting up, that's like the activity we're doing. We're going on a hike or going camping or something like that. And I think it just brings us all closer. So
Yeah. Do you think there's something to the idea that, you're trying to make something with your work that makes your family proud of you?
yeah, which is, as like the youngest, I have always felt like, behind. And like all my siblings are very well educated people. Like they all are like bachelor's degrees, or they're just all like pretty successful in that regard, which has never been my thing. Like I've always struggled in a classroom.
And you're living in a van.
Yeah, and I'm living in a van, exactly.
Which doesn't help the,
which is not the same kind of lifestyle that they're living in their success. But I think I know that they like respect that I'm living something that I'm living my dream basically, and I'm following something that I'm really passionate about. And I think they do. I think they respect me for that, which is a good feeling, especially as like the youngest kid.
Yeah.
So.
What is it that keeps you going, like on a day-by-day basis, to go out and shoot, find new things? Like, what is it about this craft, this space that we're in, that keeps you motivated to do more?
My favorite aspect of it is definitely the people aspect. I love inspiring people, and it's not always on social media. Sometimes it's in person or whatever, but social media is a big part of my life, and a lot of the place where I hear this. But people that message me I've never met before, and they're like, dude, thank you for posting that. Some random thing that I wrote in a caption. They're like, I've been like struggling with this recently, and I really want to chase photography because I love it, but I just don't I don't feel like there's a path there. And they say that's something I said has helped them overcome that, which is a great feeling. And I love being able to provide that for people when I can. So
yeah, no, it's a great thing. And, I think a lot of us end up getting that, but I think the important thing is seeing someone like you in your work, you can tell it's just authentic. You're not trying to be someone you're not.
right.
You have fun with it, and that's a great thing.
Yeah.
What other photographers out there inspire you? Because we kind of run in the same circles with a ton of people.
Yeah,
there's a lot of us our age, or that we get to do stuff with, but there's also a lot of other professionals who do this for a living. So what people out there are the ones that you look up to?
Sure. At the beginning, it was definitely I was looking at like the big names, like Peter McKinnon, or a guy that I followed named, his Instagram handle is Moon Mountain Man, Jacob Moon. He's always someone that I've looked up to. But like in the last few years, since I've kind of gotten to that place where I'm not comparing so much in that negative connotation, it's definitely more of like looking at the friends around me that are in kind of the same workspace that I am, and looking up to them and what they're doing and how they're always like seeking to learn more and stuff like that. So like you and Chandler and Mihaela and just people like that are always around me. I think those are the inspirations that I look to now.
Yeah, and I think that's a great way. We talked about it on a previous podcast too, that one of the best ways to get better yourself is to simply surround yourself with people that are better than you.
Yeah.
And it's okay to be maybe on the bottom of the totem pole.
Right. If I was to give myself advice, like when I was first starting out, because like I said, I was so independent. I didn't want to ask anybody for help. But surrounding yourself with people that are doing the same thing you're doing, and especially if they're doing it better than you, that is such a great way to learn. Because you just, I mean, it's kind of like learning language, like delving into a culture or surrounding yourself with people that are really good at doing what you want to do. I'd say that's the best way to learn.
Yeah. And in a way, like I would say the same thing by myself too. Like I see people like you and Ben and Chandler, and everyone that, is in our big group chat.
Right.
It's like, being a part of, obviously we have a big community, but being a part of some kind of smaller, tighter knit community who knows you on a deeper basis.
Yeah.
It's like, there's definitely something there that like you want to like do more almost for them as well. And like really keep up with them.
Yeah.
But like for me, like I don't feel necessarily any pressure to do photo stuff. But like I feel like I want to do other things for like, it's like why we do this podcast, why we do Bushwhackers. It's like, and that's a great pressure. Like that's the kind of positive pressure you're talking about, comparisons and stuff too with negative pressures. Yep. That's the kind of positive pressure and the kind of mindset, how you should view
definitely
those kind of
it's
dynamics.
It's like positive competition almost. Like it's like you want to do better because the people around you are doing good.
Yeah, like it's not, we should never be feeling we're competing with other people to be necessarily the best in terms of like in comparison to them, but we can be better ourselves, and we should be competing with ourselves. And like other people, like I look at your stuff, I'm like, okay, he's doing a lot of really cool stuff. I should probably be doing more of that if I can find the time.
Sure.
But it's just the way things work.